like my history live and 3D, so Lang Pioneer Village, that preserves the architecture, artifacts, lifestyle, and the skills of the 19th century residents of Peterborough and the Kawarthas, is one of my favorite history experiences in rural Ontario. This living history museum is just a treasure trove of makers, so many people preserving and renewing the skills and crafts of the ancestors of this region. But there's one maker and one machine you might not see operating anywhere else in North America.
It's so incredible that Lang was able to get this loom to begin with. And to have two of them is practically unheard of.
A local 19th century weaver invested in two of these state-of-the-art Jacquard looms. Miraculously, they survived to be donated to the museum, and recently one's been painstakingly restored and put back into use in time for a resurgence of interest in textiles and craftsmanship.
In the early part of the 1800s, what happened is people even had to raise their own sheep to provide the wool in order to be able to manufacture their own clothing. This room is the sort of the historical part of our weaving shop. What it does is that it provides the visitor with the idea of how cloth was manufactured in the 1800s.
Earlier, simpler looms only allowed for straight lines and geometric patterns. Jacquard looms were game changers, making fancy possible.
It's a Jacquard, which gives you your pattern, and both cloths come up when they need to create more threads for a much more elaborate patterning. That's what the cards are all about. The little holes in the cards, the needles in the machine go through the holes and tell the cords which ones are to lift and which ones are to be woven and which ones aren't. And that's what the pattern is, that whole card system in the back of the loom.
The Jacquard cards that creates the patterns for our weaving is the exact same principle that is used in the early computer cards. We actually still continue to use it today. Every time you fill out a lotto card, the machine reads that, and it's either yes, it accepts it, or no, it doesn't. The exact same principle as the early 50s and 60s computer cards and the Jacquard from 1806.
Jacquard used essentially binary principles for design.
Absolutely. There are very few Jacquard looms that are of the 1800s that are even in existence, but what makes ours unique is the very fact that we have one that is in working condition that allows you to walk about and see it. So we are also hopeful that this is an art that will be continued on, and we will be hopefully part of that process.
I've been weaving since 72. I think it's the warmth of the textile. On this, I can feel it all the way through, and then afterwards, what I can do with it to make it into something else. I mean, it is what we've wrapped ourselves in since the beginning of time, so it's primal. Because it's so old, we're still trying to get the little quirks out of it. This was quite a challenge. The beauty of this loom is that it is the piece de resistance of all looms. The Jacquard really is taking the ancient into the 21st century, and they did it way back in the 17 and 1800s, so they were way ahead of us.